This week on Hermitcraft. Welcome to the Hermitcraft recap. My name is Pixel Riffs, our writer is LoyXP, and yep, the thumbnail was not lying. They found the Resistance headquarters, and it was under all our collective noses this whole time. And while it's easy to try and write off this development in the turf war as a conclusion to the entire conflict, the truth of the matter is the Resistance still owns half the Monopoly board and enough mycelium to cover it in. This just might be the stalemate before the final storm, or perhaps a new status quo to be disrupted.
I mean, the only commodity, the only valuable thing about that base was the fact that it was secret.
Though instead of wondering where this is going, it's better to investigate deeper into how we got here exactly. After all, investigating deeper kind of is exactly how we got here. So let's take a look at all the events and mishaps that occurred on the Hermitcraft server this week. Starting with iJevin, who has unfortunately been having a pretty bad time IRL lately. Without getting into it too much, it seems unlikely that he'll be making Hermitcraft videos for the next little while. Here's hoping the hardships pass and he'll return to making videos better than ever.
I mainly need that time off just to get things in my life organized because everything is just so up in the air. To probably around December 1st, I'm going to be taking a break. That's about 2 weeks.
Deep in the wilds of the server, Iskal's industrial district continues the theme of factories being destroyed by oversized mobs, as he builds a zombie villager chest bursting out of the villager breeder and zombificator he set up last week. The purpose becomes clear. Iskal plans to eventually convert his entire plot of shopping district land into an emporium serving up anything he can mass farm from villager kind, which means finally disassembling Bernie the leaf-eating robot and reinstalling him under the tree base.
You're looking very cozy there, and possibly a little bit creepy from up here.
Then he goes back to literally burning through Fletchers until he gets one that trades weakness arrows, because who needs potions anyway?
What? Yes! 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 Yes!
Continuing on his biome-sized potion maker project, Azumavoid designs a phantom farm and white pajamas to test it in. Falling promises to be real slow, but not as slow as digging enough obsidian to fill a soul sand biome, which apparently is how you make a ghast tier farm in a post-Nembon Minecraft. The ghasts just spawn in their favourite biome and instantly warp into the overworld via a scary array of nether portals, where they mostly just scream.
Okay, let's turn down the volume.
That's how the coffee machine will be getting its regeneration and gunpowder. As for glistering melons and golden carrots, there's a very reliable source of those in the game, Corrales.
Over here. Take 3 of those sugar boxes to start with.
For real?
Yeah.
How have you got so many of these? What is this? Like,
He can bring quite a bit of salt too if the open house tour they attended is anything to go by, but he won't be relieved of his diamond floor just yet because the place is also under offer from a Mr. Slab.
Power out, and sure enough, the system will trigger. Scar, come on out anytime. Pull that flower.
I'm coming.
There we go. And Scar, come out. Scar!
Oh no!
He blew up.
Packing his granite building full of quality interior, Corrales can't help but reminisce about the earlier days and the original hotel it was inspired by, made of planks and cobblestone. Though of course modern-day Hermitcraft has quite the edge on good old 2011. The scarecrow technology alone is worth the wait.
Look at this! Oh, I love the rabbit faces as well.
These naturally are the fruit and veggies and assorted grains of labour of one Zombie Cleo, returning to the server with heavily updated hardware. Waiting for her is a large stack of armor stand commissions with XP crafted sitting on top. He gives her free range of death and destruction to unleash upon his town and even promises to pay for it, the maniac.
Wherever you think something would be cool or something would be funny, or you're free to use whoever, whenever you want to put my head out here somewhere doing something. On top of that, I give you an IOU.
I can use it for goods and or services.
Which is probably why the rest of XP's time is mostly spent staying out of trouble. Even when the Mycelium Resistance sounds the alarm, he skips on the emergency meeting because he's working on his tunnel to the Nether Hub, concealing soul sand beneath the floor and reworking the piglin bartering farm so it's on a level with the road. When it's safe to return to the overworld, he transfers some pacified pillagers over to the hilltop fort and installs them as the coven running the local clubhouse, complete with a zombified family member they're trying to cure by making him do a handstand.
and he's kind of just chilling in there, you know, slowly not being a zombie villager, or so legend says.
This week saw Joe Hills and Cubfan helping to raise money for conservation charities through the Love Tropics stream, and the end result is that the Strait of Gibraltar is now filled with charitable fish. At least they proved easier to catch and release than the Ravager Joe wants to entomb in the miniature decked out he and Cleo are building at Cleo's base. But eventually Joe wrangles one into a minecart and sent it off to menace future visitors.
Core concept, we have achieved Ravager containment. This is an at Joe Hills plays Minecraft first.
Zedaf drags a different beast into his cave of contraptions, or should I say, a different bees. Through a bit of finagling, Zed's able to figure out a honey and honeycomb production line that he hangs in a top corner of the cave with a honey block elevator leading to it, though he's clear that he's nowhere done with what the hive can be used for and might come back for their amazing knees later.
You get it, because there's bees and they bestow honey upon me, and also I stow my bees. It's a bee stow. It's a pun.
After the Moo Pop heist from last week, Tango Tech finds the protective technology in the factory lacking, and just in case adds a new intruder removal mechanism into the fray that piston tapes a Grian armor stand, or, you know, whoever, off into a conveniently placed lava pit.
Oh, he's so sad. Oh, how tasty sweet is that? I love it.
With some shenanigans still in his system, Tango gets back to the Toontown with the intent of making the funniest slime farm he can think of. Too bad halfway there, Etho calls him up to test the suffering course he prepared, and we've all seen how that went.
Here comes the easy part.
Oh.
Yeah.
So after weeks of taking hits from the Resistance, the HEP finally seems to have struck back, and struck gold. After Scar had already narrowed down the location of the secret base with manual mining, their new recruit, Mumbo, came in with a redstone contraption fit for the job, a TNT tunnel bore. Racing 3 of these against each other, Mumbo, BOO, and the Mayor have finally located the Resistance headquarters. And then shortly after that, the real Resistance headquarters.
Where is that coming from? I think it's coming from this direction. Oh, wait. Oh. Dude!
Oh, that's good. Keep going.
Oh my goodness, panic, panic, panic.
I see Ren.
We should have discussed plans. Why were we talking about the race?
What to do now?
I'm taking the chairs!
While the revolutionaries scramble to save their boxes of mycelium, the HEP literally takes a seat and enjoys the mayhem. Except for Mumbo, who finds himself regretting the way they came in.
I specifically removed stuff from the flying machine so that I would blow up more stuff. And I blew up the vault.
Oh! It's okay, Mumbo. We'll make you a special vault somewhere.
And at first, the Resistance assumes that the place was discovered via a traitor in their midst, but an eye-to-eye with the Mayor after the fact tells Grian that they just fell victim to brute force guesstimating.
Did somebody leak the coordinates or something?
No, I don't think so. I didn't. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I
Wow,
didn't.
your eyes went straight to me.
Everyone.
In a really wholesome bit, the two take a minute to gush on one another and promise to keep giving each other hell and fighting the good fight. With the true HQ found, there's no need to keep its location a secret anymore, so Impulse gives us a spectator camera tour of exactly where both the real base and the fake base were, before heading back into the Nether to work on his connections to the Nether Hub and returning to the industrial area to label up his sorting system. When it's safe to return to the shopping district, however, he finds that Grian has made an offer on the plot containing his Prismarine shop.
Space? Why would he want this space? Unless... I did notice this looks bigger than last time.
In his legal dealings, Grian has the entire prize pool for the quest boxes figured and prepped, so he upgrades his barge emporium once more to accommodate and justify the prestige level. Anyway, with pleasantries exchanged, the HEP holds a meeting in which they plan to put up wanted posters for everyone in the Resistance, and then put anyone they can catch into a jail specifically built for it. Cubfan even issues a herald on the recent victories of the agency.
Now there's also another header, Moo Pop break-in. The only things reported missing from the break-in were the brains and dignity of the alleged intruders.
He still invites XB to test out a recently coloured one-sided minigame along with Hypno and Joe Hills, his usual gaming group. Hypnotized builds his own Piglin fort, one automatically trading gold for a variety of goods, and puts them all in respective auto-sorted boxes.
And then I brought enough for these last two, and I'm just going to put potions
on them so we know they're like the non-stackable things.
The renamed traders should feel extra at home in their 1x2 boxes, since the Blackstone was reused from an actual historical bastion Hypno deep-rooted a while ago. More futuristic materials can be found over at Vintage Beef's City project, where he spends some time setting up a holographic Fox logo by a highway on the outer edges of 3 Fox Hole, then adds a Blade Runner-inspired police vehicle to patrol it. Hopefully that'll be enough to keep the creepers in line.
Oh, right. I forgot the carpet. It actually doesn't look bad at all. Dang it. This is not a way that I can get over.
When B-Dubs is done exploding his way to the Mycelium Resistance HQ, he retires to the countryside to continue providing for his ever-expanding family of horses. Still on the quest for the fastest and jumpinest horse he can find, he's at least built a cozy stable and new houses for their accommodation. And we know he knows a thing or two about real estate from his open house tour of the concrete maker shop.
Remember, this is an as-is shop.
I mean, it's broken right now.
Great, you guys broke it. So,
I did nothing.
It's as is.
By this point, we've seen Mumbo's expertise with explosives, but it's time he worked with an even more volatile substance, the Wither, because he promised a Wither skeleton farm a while back, which by modern standards means acquiring a lot of Wither roses first. Unfortunately for him, he summons the Wither last, which ends up destroying bits of the farm he just spent time building, but at least it's able to create a good chest full of Wither roses before the next workplace accident.
It might not look good in a second. Alright, so it has blown up everything.
With a Nether Fortress Crossroads converted into a quick and dirty Wither skeleton farm, the only remaining duty is to tame a wolf and later send it to hell. And finally there's TFC, who's trying to get back into the swing of things but realises he wants the floor of his tower to be level with the storage system first. So he buys up more concrete, aiming to keep the floor he'd already built and construct a smelter array there later. So the tower has floors, but walls it has not, at least for now. Whether or not they go in later depends on how much fun TFC is having being able to use Elytra again.
And it's getting sunset, so does that make me the terror that flaps in the night?
And that's about it for this week's recap. Our writer is LoyXP, and my name is Pixelriffs. In this week's End Screen Theatres, Loy has joined the Legacy SMP for their second season, builds a boat in a desert, and starts planning to lure his server mates into their own graves. Don't forget to leave a like while you're still here, and subscribe so you won't miss future recaps. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.